It's time for the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD review for the Wii U. Some of you may know I already reviewed Twilight Princess on the Wii, but seeing how there's a few more differences in the HD version than just a more detailed coat of paint, and the fact that I've never been truly satisfied with my original review, I thought it'd be a good chance to go over it again. So here you go! Sorry. This Zelda universe begins in the small, wooded province of Ordon. Link is tasked with delivering a sword to the royal family of Hyrule as a gift. The day before he sets off, though, monsters attack, and after Link chases after them, he encounters a large, strange black wall in which a giant hand suddenly grabs and pulls him in. On the other side, Link transforms into a wolf and ends up imprisoned. He soon meets a mysterious imp-like creature named Midna who helps him escape, and now it's up to you to figure out what's going on and turn everything back to normal. You will eventually revert to your Hylian self, but there are still sections of the game where the story and gameplay force you to be a wolf, at least for a little while. Although important to the theme of the game, I'm glad this was only a minor part of it, as I didn't want to play as a wolf for an extended period. Not that the gameplay is bad, but I would much rather don Link's iconic green tunic and slash some enemies with the Master Sword. When I played the GameCube version for the first time, I remember thinking how huge the game world was. Coming from past Zelda titles, it was exciting to be able to traverse what felt like such large areas, as well as experience the number of dungeons the game offers. It takes a page from Ocarina and mimics many key elements in game structure, such as the dungeon progression, especially the order of the first 3 dungeons, the names of the different main areas, similar characters, and even the artistic approach. I think this is what Ocarina could have looked like if game technology was more advanced at the time of its release. Speaking of which, the graphics are one of the key differences between this version and the original. The game looks really good, with much more detail than before. Even some of the walls got me to stop and admire the detail that I missed in the GameCube and Wii's versions, and don't forget about those Goron rock nipples in full HD. Another key difference is the controls. You can use a Wii U Pro controller, but I use the gamepad, and while a bit obtuse, it adds a level of depth to the gameplay. You'll use the touchscreen to set items to your quick select buttons, and you can move the map around on the screen with your finger. One key mechanic of the game is being able to switch between your normal self and your wolf form. In the GameCube and Wii versions, you always needed to ask Midna to do this for you, which only took a few seconds, but you can perform this move pretty much instantly by pressing the dedicated transform button near the top right corner of the touchscreen. The controls overall worked well, and it was kind of fun using the gamepad's motion controls when using ranged weapons. The only thing I found annoying was quickly performing a spin attack didn't work on many attempts. You're supposed to circle the control stick quickly and press attack, but many times Link just ended up doing this. I feel like other Zelda games are more lenient on the timing of performing this attack, and it's not difficult to do overall, but I wish it registered more often when I tried it. I think the most notable aspect of how Link plays is something that I wish Nintendo hadn't ditched in future Zelda titles, and that is you can swing your sword around while walking. This makes cutting grass while looking for enemies more time-saving, and can even help when trying to clear out weaker enemies. I don't understand why Nintendo didn't use this small yet wonderful feature in later games. It just makes it more fun. This is the first Zelda title to feature horseback melee fights. It works alright, but it sometimes felt clunky and just needed a little more fine-tuning. You can also use your ranged weapons, which come in handy, but being able to use your sword adds more to the gameplay. Unfortunately, just riding on Epona can be its own challenge in some areas. She gets stuck too easily, and controlling her in tight spaces doesn't feel exactly right. It works for what you need to do, and backflipping off of her is really cool, but the horseback controls needed more polishing in general. Going back to the graphics, while they still look good, I'm a little puzzled to see that Nintendo didn't add anything extra in the areas. Like here, it doesn't look bad, but it feels quite empty, and it really could have used some tall grass, flowers, or even a few trees to liven things up a bit. Not all areas seem barren, like Zora's Domain, but Hyrule Field is unfortunately lacking. Now, don't think there isn't anything to do though. There are many side quests to complete, such as collecting golden bugs for Princess Agatha, who has some questionable dialogue, hunting down Pose to free a cursed NPC, and one of the most rewarding side quests, learning the special melee skills. Even the classic search and find heart piece containers has been widened, because it now takes 5 pieces to create a new heart instead of 4. The dungeons are quite unique, and they overall offer a good challenge. There were some points, however, where the game design just didn't make sense in terms of offering basic fun to the player. Like this part right here. This isn't fun. Thankfully, most areas generally are though, and I like the theme of each dungeon. Snow Peak Ruins is one of my favorites. Instead of a typical dungeon, it's a giant manor up in the frozen mountains you have to explore. The camera worked well enough, however I didn't like how limited you were in moving it around while on horseback, and there were a few instances where it would suddenly stutter. It wasn't a major problem, but was annoying when it happened. The music is beautiful. The main theme of Hyrule Field is my favorite. And a few other areas take the song and change it up to match the mood. The boss fights are probably the most disappointing element of the game. They shine in the spectacle category, but challenging? No. It's unfortunate, and I'm not saying they're easy because I've beaten the game numerous times. The first time I played, I remembered thinking how easy most of the boss fights were. Like this one. It is nearly impossible to die in this sequence. Sure, it looks really cool and can be quite creepy, but there's basically no challenge. Honestly, I think Twilight Princess could be my personal pick for easiest bosses in a Zelda game. Since this is the Wii U version, Amiibo support is available. Just tap various Amiibo figures to receive different rewards. You can also unlock a special surprise only available with the Wolf Link Amiibo that came with the special bundle version of the game. It also has Hero Mode available without needing to unlock it first, and if you play it, you might quickly notice it's in Mirror Mode like it was on the Wii. This version is just as good as I remembered on the GameCube and Wii, and having an HD touch-up just increases the overall enjoyment. However, it does fall short in some areas. The majority of boss fights were too easy, as well as just the general enemies you face. The quick spin attack can be frustrating to pull off, controlling Epona felt awkward at times, some of the barren areas could have really benefited from some more graphical asset detail, and the camera's rare stuttering problems and limited use while on horseback was annoying. The gamepad offers a new way to play, which I think works well, but you can also stick to a traditional controller, which is nice. The HD improvement looks great, the music was composed very well, and there's a good amount of side quests and things to do besides the main campaign. Plus, Hero Mode is the way to go if you think the game is too easy. I've beaten it twice on this mode, and without any heart drops and double damage taken, there was a good handful of areas that put me to the test. I know the Wii U isn't very popular amongst gamers, but if you're going to play Twilight Princess, I think the HD version is the best one to experience. This game gets a 4.5 out of 5 with the title of Epic.